I may have measured the camera for me, but not for my computer, but this will be a computer heavy video because I want to get my facts straight. I did a whole PowerPoint to keep myself organized, but like, hey, the type A lifestyles. For those of you who are new around here, my name is Juanita, aka the Caramel Yogi. And for those of you who are not new around here, thank you so much for coming back. I truly, truly appreciate it. And to get to the meat of this video, I went to Japan and I talk about it all the time. So a lot of people, of course, will like follow up, but like, how did you love your trip? Like, what was the cost of the trip? I would love to do something like that for myself. And I'm like, might as well just make a whole video of like who I went with, why I went, how much did everything cost. So it's just like all in one big video for anyone considering doing the same exact trip. So just to kind of start everything off, I went with the group called efultimatebreak. So I guess the best way for me to describe it is they do group trips for people within the ages of 18 to 35. And that was, I never traveled with them before, nor did I know anyone who had traveled with them, or at least I didn't know until like after I went on the trip. The allure was like, oh, I get to be with like people my age and like explore the country, and like hopefully it's like a little bit affordable than some like other options I was looking at the time, even including me just going. At this point, I already did like 2 solo-esque trips to Portugal, and I'm like, I think I can handle it, but I was so nervous about not knowing the language that I wouldn't be able to get around. The tour that I personally went on was called the Highlights of Japan tour. So Highlights of Japan is basically this highlights. So it's a 14-day trip, so 2 weeks, and you go through, I'm trying to think of like where we started. We did Tokyo, Kyoto, Hakone, which is like where you could see like Mount Fuji from, Hiroshima, and then we ended in Osaka. Awesome. Like those were all like the cities. If I had to do a solo trip, those would be the cities I would want to jump to. But again, like renting a car seems scary to me. I think the goodness of doing a tour is the fact that you do get a tour guide. They're going to handle everything in terms, at least like the knowledge of as we like go to the different places, telling you what everything is. Maybe they're buying your train tickets or getting you on the bus. Like it's nice to have someone like looking out for you, translating in my case. So I was like, we're definitely gonna do a group trip. EF just happened to be one of those ones that like I just saw, like as I'm like, I think I want to go to Japan, I think I want to do it. I think I saw like an ad for it and I was like, this is the one. I didn't do like much research. For me as a planner, as a corporate woman who's always kind of like dealing with numbers and things all the time, if I can have a vacation and just completely be hands-off, like here's the money, I'm hands-off for the rest of the time, or I have like some free time, golden. That's literally all I need. I do want to say that this video will be broken up into chapters. So if you want to just cut straight to the meat and figure out how much I paid, like jump here. If I have a time, cool. If not, I'm sure there's chapters with YouTube resources. When it comes to going on a tour, you do get a tour guide, and they'll have basically one of their job duties is to kind of, again, give you this tour. If you're on like a bus telling you about the areas you're passing, if you're in a museum, just kind of give you a little bit more insight that you may not be able to get on your own, or read in a book kind of thing. So I do want to talk about the difference between guided tours, free time, and excursions. So again, guided tour, we did temple and shrine visits. We went to the Peace Memorial Museum in Hiroshima, the onsen experience, nightlife, group dinners, tour guide, right? He's the one who's going to be like, these are the things to do. Please don't do this. Please be quiet in this neighborhood. People live here. And again, it's very like curated, which I love. Free time, whole different jam. So even though you're on a tour, they will be like, hey, you have a free day, or here's some free time, 2 hours, do whatever you want to do. So you can eat whatever foods that you want. You can take a bus, go to a whole different city. There was times we had free time and some people kind of like stayed in the area, went to eat, went to go shopping, and then a few of us like jumped on a train and went to Disney. So I like the free time because it still gives you some agency in terms of, oh yes, we're doing this tour, but I still kind of want to see this. I want to go to the Pokemon Center. I want to do this other thing. And I think we had a decent amount of free time. It sometimes came as like a surprise. Again, like a tour can only tell you so much in an itinerary, because if it rains, things may change, or anything can kind of like stop or like, let's say, delay a tour. So there'd be a moment where I want to explore a city a little bit more. It's like, hey, you got free time, here's 2 hours. But like now I'm playing around with people, like people on the trip, like you're making friends, and those 2 hours go by so fast and you didn't eat. Or we were meaning to go down this one street, but we never did because kind of like after that free time, we have to go to this next location, and the next location would be 3 hours away on bus. So you can't get back to that neighborhood, which I'm like, damn. It would be great to have some more, I'd say more clarity about when free time happens or how much you'll have. I think the free time was like fine. It would have been great to have like a little bit more notice. Like, hey, just letting you know your free time will be 2 hours when you get there. You may want to do this, but I would prioritize getting food, which happened later with our tour guide, because once he like felt us out of things we were interested in, he would be like, hey, just letting you know, like that line's gonna get long, like do that first and then go eat. Then we have excursions. I will be putting this in the price information. I did excursions on my own, one of them being a photo shoot in Tokyo. We went to like different iconic locations. I went to Disney and I did this sake experience at this 300-year-old like brewery. The photo shoot and the brewery were through Airbnb experiences. So something that happens at my job is they pay me to work out, essentially. So I get these points, I exchange them for gift cards, and I was able to work out, get points, and get those 2 excursions for free. In terms of like free time, the tour itself had optional excursions. So you wouldn't just get these automatically because you booked the tour. You can just book this as an option. So the main ones, and actually I'm gonna tell you right now if I would do them or if I didn't do them. First one was Team Lab, I think it's Toyosu and Odaiba. I didn't go to this. I didn't go, but I did Disney that day. So I felt like I still went and did something. The Shimokitazawa neighborhood, I didn't go. I didn't feel like I missed out. I went to the sake brewery on this day. I also had the photo shoot that day. I don't remember anyone like talking about it. Like, man, I'm so happy I went to this thing. We had the traditional tea ceremony in Kyoto. I like this. I'm glad I went. I don't feel like you have to go, especially if you're like not into tea. I think like, again, learning a little bit of the history about it, being in the space, kind of seeing it done, it was just very like nice. Hiking trip from Kyoto. I did not book this originally, was not interested. I actually love hiking, I love being outdoors, amazing. I was like maybe I'll be tired, I don't want to overbook myself. And I think the day of, I think maybe we all were clubbing the day before, or we did like a lot of walking the day before, and the people were like tired. They were like, I don't want to go, someone can have my ticket kind of thing. So one of my friends was like, I don't want to go. I think the hike was gonna have like a lot of stairs, and she's like, I don't want to do that. So I was like, oh, I'll take it. Like I have a lot of energy today, I'll go. Amazing. I would have been so sick that I would have missed out on that because it was absolutely gorgeous. Like once you kind of got to this, like, I don't want to say the top, but you got to this part of the hike where you could like meditate, and it was like this forest bathing experience. And the hike, I would say the hike was easy for me. It is not like an accessible hike. It's very much like lots and lots and lots of stairs. I don't think it's something that anyone could just jump into if you don't walk often or have a more like sedentary job. I would try to get your walking in before the trip just to make sure you have like enough like lung capacity to do it. But like so lovely. It was absolutely amazing. It was lovely. Every little piece. I met some great people. I had lunch at the end of this experience, like just kind of overseeing this like riverway, and like a nice couple sat down next to me. We did not speak each other's languages, but again, it was just like, I would have been upset to have missed that. It's one I highly, highly recommend. We had the Nara City tour, Zen meditation and lunch. Highly recommend. I'm not wild about the deer part. I love nature. I love animals and things. The deer gives me the zoo effect a little bit. And I was like, I'm not like wild about this. The Zen meditation, A+. Okay, I think at this point you should see I'm a little bit biased. The yogi part, meditation, I'm in. But that one was like wonderful. I would have, again, it's one of those things that I'm happy that the tour provides, because I wouldn't have been able to find that on my own or know how to search that up. Like it wasn't even on my mind. So again, like one of the most like uplifting, like amazing experiences I've ever had. and I'm glad I didn't miss that. So definitely book that one. I don't care. Book that one. Amazing. The Osaka food tour. I've always been interested in Osaka. Like if I had to go back to Japan, that would be like the city I want to go to, because I've heard it was like a more foodie city, and that's where like I land. That's what my spirit holds. I bought the ticket and like very clearly in the instructions of like buying excursions, especially when you're on the tour, is to check with your tour guide to make sure there's room. I did not do that because I didn't read it, if I'm being honest. So he like went in to check to see if I can still kind of have room. They did not have room. So I ended up getting like a refund like 2 weeks after the trip, like when I got back, which wasn't a big deal. I know the people who did go were not like wild about it. So take that as you will. Unforeseen things on the trip, like issues and things I feel like people should know before going on the tour. I don't think any of these are like heartbreaking, but again, I wish it was something I had known. Hakone, we went on this like, don't know the word, I'll figure it out. This like, it's not a gondola, maybe it is, up to see like a better view of Mount Fuji, but it was so like cloudy, like there was no chance of seeing anything. It was raining, like everything. So we were going from a lower altitude city of Kyoto up to Hakone, right? So you're getting higher and higher. We're driving on a bus. He is driving fast. So if you know anything about altitude changes, driving up this altitude change as fast as humanly possible in my mind was kind of getting me into that like altitude sickness space. And I know how that feels in my body, like how you go on a plane and your ears will pop or clog. It's that same thing. So we were driving up very, very fast up the mountain, like from one location to the other. Then we went on this gondola that was very fast as well, because you need the momentum to get up the hill. And then it's raining, atmosphere thing. So you're getting the picture. I never have issues with altitude pressure sickness things, but I had it that day very, very bad. By the time I got to the top and like the temperature change, even at the top of this new location, was cold, and we could see our breath cold in April. It was easy for me to leave the group and make sure I got down safely and, you know, kind of got my thoughts back together. And anything you need to know about altitude sickness, it's the altitude, the actual change, and how high you are above sea level, the speed of how you get there. That's very important, because if we drove slower, I would have time to acclimate to the new new altitude. And then the weather, if it rains, it could really make a difference. Anyone who has like an injury, like I have a shoulder injury, if it rains, you can kind of tell. By the time we like got to Hakone and we were like in the hotel and things, I was fine. It was just that little piece of like movement, rain, that was just a bad combo. Another issue I felt that we had is not enough time in certain locations. There's a place, I don't know if it's like a neighborhood, but Sakasa, where I feel like I heard that they were having like a lot of like chef things. Like I could buy knives or different kind of like cutlery things. I wanted to go there, but one, I love overbooking myself, so I'll blame myself a little bit. So like I could have went back on that Disney day, things like that, but there really wasn't enough time when we were like right next to the city during a certain part of the tour. And when I realized I wouldn't be able to go there, I was heartbroken. But next trip, like that's such an easy fix. And you can ask the tour guide in advance. Like again, he knew us, once a few days went by. If you kind of ask like, hey, how much time will we have in this certain city I want to go to? Like ask in advance, so at least you can like prepare your own personal itinerary. There was a scary hotel in Hiroshima. We all banded together to make sure that we put in the review that we should not have anything to do with that hotel any further. Do not put anyone through that ever again. So hopefully y'all are spared when you book the trip. The group chat was blowing up that day when we all got into our rooms, like so nervous, so scared. And then like the audacity for the fire alarm to go off at 2 a.m. that night, only on certain floors, which happened to be my floor. So we were like not feeling it. But another unforeseen thing-ish, the drinking culture in Japan. So again, I'm very comfortable with knowing my limits. I'm knowing my body. If you feel like drinking, it's like a softer spot for you, the drinking culture is a little bit more rampant. No one's forcing drinks on you, of course, but like again, when you're on like a group trip experience, and some people are like, hey, let's really party, let's drink. Maybe being in those environments may not be the most comfortable, and now being in Japan and it's like you can get beer from a vending machine, like just consider those things. I think the only time I got like very like, oh, I almost went past my limits was the sake tour. But I knew, like, again, I had a tour guide who was going to get me back safely home, so I was like, it's fun. Like, I went with one of the other people on the tour, so I felt very safe and comfortable. If you have any kind of hang-ups, reservations about drinking, just make sure you personally know your limits, you practice your nose. Again, no one really push drinks on me. Remember, you are in a group environment. If you feel like you can be peer pressured to do things, it's okay to say no. But I can see the environment kind of giving way to someone not being able to say no and drinking too much. And yes, the group will take care of you or try their best to kind of make sure everyone's safe. But again, like, really know your body, your limits, so that you can really truly enjoy your trip. So now this is the part of the video that probably half the people skip to, the cost. So I am doing the full numbers. I'm a financial services girly, for some of you who don't know me. So I love getting to the meat of things. So especially for a trip, especially when you go on the website, not necessarily efultimatebreak, but any website, they're like, yeah, book this, only $90 down. And then you realize at the end that you're in the thousands. You're like, oh, I didn't expect this. So I will give you the numbers so you can make as an informed decision as you can. Again, I went on this trip in 2025, this year. I went on this trip this year in April. Prices will fluctuate and change with, even on visa situations, if you book your own flights. So anyways, let's get into it. I split my cost into two parts. Pre-trip, like booking the trip, everything that happened before the trip happened, and then during the trip. There really were no post things, but it makes a big difference to kind of split them out, but I will add them together at the end. Pre-trip, my base price with the flights was $5,329. And yes, that included like the luggage on the flight. So usually when you buy a flight international, you get like 2 pieces of checked luggage, 1 carry-on and 1 bag. Second thing, travel insurance. Like, I don't know how hard I gotta ingrain this into people. Get your travel insurance. Even if you don't want to get it through that company, get travel insurance. You never know what could possibly happen when you're on a trip, and it's so important, critical for you to get travel insurance, because it may be like, oh, but I'll save $100, I'll save this money, or get it, because even I had this trip planned to Ireland and a huge worldwide event happened where it had to be canceled, and luckily a lot of people got their money back on some things. I got all of my money back on things because I had travel insurance. I bought one excursion up front, which was that Nara City tour, Zen meditation and lunch. That was $120. And there was a sale going on the site at the time, so we're taking off $300. There was a deposit of $150. So pre-trip, the price was coming down to $5,178. I do want to add that I did the payment plan. I didn't just like have this money up front. And it was about $399 a month. So I think I started payments February 2024. I was done paying by February 2025. And I think the last payment was like a larger payment of, I think, $900. Free trip, paying the trip off before I actually went physically on the trip, $5,178. During the trip, I even count this like the day before, because I decided to upgrade my seat. Of course, like as I let the company buy my flight, because I also want the transfers, they'll pick you up from the airport kind of thing. I got nervous that I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be on this 14-hour flight. I don't know if I'll be comfortable the whole time. Maybe I should pay for a little bit more, what's it called, leg room. That was $229.99. It was worth it for me for like peace of mind. And I told myself I would get the upgrade coming back if I felt like it made a difference. It was like the same seat. It don't really matter. You'll survive. Yeah, there was like extra leg room, like 2 inches. I couldn't even you can't tell the difference. Excursions. During the trip, excursions, I've only paid $178.61. I know you're like, but you said you did all these things. You went to Disney, you did this. Here's the facts. I did the sake experience at the 300-year-old brewery. That was free. That was through my job. The photo shoot was also free. Same thing. Work gift card. shebang. The traditional tea ceremony in Kyoto was $30. The hiking trip from Kyoto was free. That was a gift from my friend, so thank you, B. Appreciate you. Disney total $148.61. This was like the ticket is much cheaper. It's not Florida Disney. The ticket, I think we had a fast pass for a ride. I got ears. I got a hat, so I'm gonna get that. Hold on. I hope I'm centered. So these are the ears. I think it kind of matches my outfit. I tried to get ears that I couldn't get at like Disney. So these are cute because like we all got ears, so like that's important. But then like, look at how cute. I wore this on the trip. I think there's pictures of me with this on the trip. But this is really cute. I don't wear it enough. I'm gonna wear it more. Hot girl summer and whatnot. I wanna keep it on. I wanna keep it on for the rest. Disney, just to say it again, $148.61. The Nara City Zen meditation and lunch. Remember, we already put that in my pre-trip. I prepaid for that, so kind of like ignore that because we already have that in our finances. And the Osaka food tour, I paid $85 up front, but I didn't get to go. So we're going ahead and ignore that one, but if you're interested, it was $85. Cash on hand. So this is just spending money. This is up to the individual. Even though EF covers, I think, all your breakfast and I think 2 group dinners, at least at this time of filming the video, your lunches were on your own. So some people could just like opt for like the konbini, the convenience store of just getting like a little wrap or a little sandwich and like calling it a day. I wanted like real meals all the time, but it's not as expensive as like New York meals or like New York drinks. So the cash on hand was for tips. I did tip my tour guide. You also tip like the bus driver and things. I know people are saying, but you don't tip in Japan, is considered disrespectful. Yes, but at least in the scale of you're on a tour, it's important to tip your experts. Like that's very, very important. Oh, I got this like cute little, please do not tear me apart for my pronunciation. I think these books, I forgot what the book is called, but the stamps inside this book are goshuin. The book is like close, and I should probably search it up, but like you get these like hand-drawn stamps when you visit, I think, shrines and temples. Am I holding it upside down? No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I don't think so. I'm panicked. I'm not. So first of all, this is only meant for stamps. The goshuin, but then I started getting like the train stamps and I couldn't help myself. I have a ton of these, but these bring me so much joy and I'm happy I got this. I do think you do need a different book for like the train stamps and like the temple shrine calligraphy. But I'll do that next time. Again, snacks, meals, drinks at clubs. Again, $1,000 was just like a nice, safe 2 weeks to do whatever I want. I think those 2 shirts I got, now I gotta get them. So these are wrinkled because I didn't fold them properly, but this one is, hopefully you can see it, heard the glad news, out of this world, what's that said? Feel at home. And then my favorite one was this one, which says, look on the bright side, holiday breather. My coworkers love this one. So yeah, that's what I spent my money on. The hat, the ears, this book, a fan. But some people got like a Louis Vuitton bag. So like, it's truly up to you of what you feel comfortable with. I'm in the camp of like, don't go anywhere without some kind of like fallback money. The amount pre-trip, total cost, $5,178, checking my numbers, yes. During the trip, so that's like my little fund money and excursions, whatnot, that was $1,408.61. My total cost of the trip was $6,586.60. So now, probably in the title of this video, was it worth it? Hell yeah. Like, it was super worth it. But I know some people are like, but I saw on Instagram they did it and it was only $2,000. They did it in this. Okay, that's them. This was my dream trip. I've always wanted to go to Japan. Like, it's just something, and actually being able to go there and do the things I did and have the expertise of a tour guide, the translation of a tour guide, I would not have that. There were so many things I wouldn't have been able to do. I can tell you right now, if I went to Japan, I planned it myself, I would have went to no temples. I don't think I would have taken the bullet train. I would have missed all those meditation experiences just because I wasn't thinking about them. So it was more than worth it for me. Having the payment plan was more than worth it for me. Again, having someone else plan the trip and I just show up, fantastic. Because everything I do now, I have to plan everything. I have to plan to drive there. It's too much. And now it's just a person being like, come with me, walk this way. Like, we're going down the street and he's like, make a left, make a right. That's a lie. He never told us anything. He just ran and we just chased after him. And I know you think I'm kidding, but he did not have like a flag to be like, follow me everyone, here's my flag, this is the EF Ultimate Break Tour. We were chasing that man down all the time. It was worth it to me. You can definitely make it cheaper. Again, that's why I want to list out everything I personally did, things I could skip out on, things you could possibly skip out on. For 2 weeks, that's fantastic. So someone who doesn't speak Japanese, as someone who wouldn't have been able to book all those things, like there was this incredible moment too where I was in the onsen, so that's when you're in Hakone in that hotel, and you're in this outdoor hot bath. And I remember this woman again, I think I just attract people to me, and we're in the onsen and a Japanese woman's there and she like grabs both of my hands and leads me outside, like to the outdoor onsen, and Mount Fuji's like in full view. And that was just such a magical moment of just like, I would have not planned that. I would have never found that hotel. Not only would I not have found that hotel, I wouldn't have been able to get there because we did that via bus. And now some questions for the IG family, the Instagram family. I asked you on Instagram that, you know, I'm making this video, like what questions do you have for me that I can include on this? It was mostly cost, things I would do, wouldn't do. So like, y'all are covered. That was the whole video. Any tea from the trip? No. And I plead the fifth. Y'all will never know. Maybe like my close friends would know. And obviously the people on the trip who were there on that day of that Kyoto clubbing night. So like, y'all's secret is safe with me. Would I ever move there? In a heartbeat. Absolutely. And it's one of those things where like, oh, I don't know Japanese. And like, you know, the culture is so much different from America. I would leave America tonight. One of the questions, identifying as a woman, you know, of color, American, how was that received? Everyone's gonna have a different experience with this. I actually had a friend who went before I went to Japan and did not have a good experience. Me personally, I felt like I was adored. I felt like everywhere I went, I was able to kind of connect with people, even like beyond the language barrier. I felt beautiful. I felt like left alone. And I know that sounds weird, but just like sometimes in America, I feel a little bit too visible, but there's sometimes I'm invisible. Japan, I felt very like calm and safe. It was lovely. I would go back there in a heartbeat for sure. Someone asked, was the tour director okay? I won't tell you who asked this, but no, he was absolutely amazing. Like a core part of the tour, he's the tour guide, but like, I need to say too, he was also in our age range, which I did not expect. So he was fun, like super fun, very, very kind. Was able to introduce us to food places that I, again, would have never found. You kind of do default to a McDonald's or Wendy's when you see it, but he's like, no, I know this little secret behind the way. A tip I would give you is to like follow your tour guide to see where they eat. They probably want some like alone time, so sorry, tour guide, but it was just one of those things where like, he brought such a, I don't want to say like fresh perspective. I've never met a tour guide I didn't like. So his like food like recommendations, fantastic. His running around was crazy. He was very fast. I walk fast. I'm not, I guess, like Japan tour guide fast, but he was amazing. I recommend him to everybody. Those were my main things. Shout out to Maurice. Amazing tour guide. I still got to go through the ranking of like my favorite tour guides overall, but like definitely top tour guide. Amazing. I think I put this in my review. If you go on the Heights of Japan tour, I recommend Maurice. That was the name of my tour guide. If I went back to Japan and I had to go on a tour, get Maurice to bring me somewhere, as opposed to like trying to find somebody else. Like I already know his like style of tour guide. I'd rather just pay him the money up front because, again, incredible. Had so much fun. Like amazing nightlife, food recommendations, like A1. It was really nice. But yeah, that was everything. I do want to mention, I love the tour so much. I had such a great time. That was my first experience with EF Ultimate Break, that I did become an official EF Ultimate Break ambassador. So what does that mean? That means you guys can ask me questions of like, basically what I kind of share in this video, if you're like, hey, like, what do you think about this trip? Or, you know, do you have a discount code? I do have a discount code. I'm gonna put the link and my code in the bio. I'll get you $100 off your next trip. But yeah, like, you can ask me questions, and, you know, if you're curious about like a sale, like how does like the summer Black Friday sale works, like that's what I'm here for, to give you like a perspective of someone who actually went on the trip. I have a trip upcoming. I got a few trips upcoming. I had to buy a lot of plane tickets lately. Again, same thing with the cost. That's why I want to also kind of be more forward, that I didn't use points and things, or again, like influencer benefits, because it does happen from time to time. Like say if I'm like, oh, it was cheap because I got my hotel, I'll show my Hilton points right now. That's crazy. The average person wouldn't just like have that out the gate without traveling a lot or opening a credit card. So again, trying to be as transparent as possible. Break is absolutely worth it, in my opinion. I would do the Highlights of Japan tour again. I wish they had like a second version, because I want to do Japan again for another 2 weeks with like different cities. Hokkaido space. I would love to like do like a skiing trip. Like that'd be so dope. But that is it for this video. I hope it gives you some kind of enlightenment of how much like the cost of the trip was, choosing excursions, optional activities, free time, all of that good jazz. If any questions come up, feel free to leave a comment in this video, which you should do anyway. Give me like a little compliment or something. You can always reach out to me on Instagram as well. But yes, like this video if you like this video, leave a little comment, subscribe to see even more goodness coming your way, because I do have a trip in days. I'm keeping it a secret, but like you guys will know soon enough. But thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.